Hey y'all, Low Fat Podcast.
What's that?
Keep listening.
Sorry.
No, you don't. Okay, so in the happy vein of whatever has been going on in the general public, do you think that the whole idea of prosperity for all is possible?
In short, no.
I think it is possible, but it's not possible at the same time.
That is not an answer.
No, it is. I think it is theoretically possible in a vacuum that everyone could be prosperous, but it's not possible because once you have stuff, you want to have all the stuff.
So is this like an economic theory versus the reality?
No, this is like what's just kind of in my head as opposed to the reality.
Oh.
I think it's all well and possible that if you were happy with what you had and you had enough, then you can be cool and just be like, I got enough, everything's fine. Yeah, I think it's possible for everyone to be that way, but I know the way people are, and that's not possible because when you have stuff, you invariably want more, and when you have more, you want more than that. You know, that's why I've asked you a lot about the whole idea of is life a zero-sum game, and I've answered my own question. No, it's not. We just kind of, it seems like it is only because that a person's greed is limitless, and so, you know, when you get a whole bunch of stuff, you just want more stuff. And if it's easier to take somebody else's stuff, you'll do that. Because, you know, we're all basically animals. I mean, look at the wild, right? You know, hardworking jaguar, cheetah brings down a little gazelle about to eat. Big fat fucking lion comes in and says, "Oh, look what I killed! I killed me a gazelle. Get out of the way, skinny little cheetah."
I always felt sorry for the cheetah.
But that's kind of the way things are in life as well, right? So this whole idea that you can put some kind of like parameters or rules to something and have everybody follow it is a bit of a pipe dream. It's a good aspiration, but you know, I think it's really tough to make it happen. Like everyone being equal under the law, great aspiration. I mean, that's part of the reason why I became a lawyer, and then, you know, my idealism got broken, and now I'm just regretting the fact that I spent 3 years doing that type of education, but that's a whole nother story. But, you know, let's face it, if you're a heavily tattooed black guy in for murder, you're probably going to have a hard time getting acquitted. Whereas if you're like a very attractive white woman or a very attractive woman, period. Not to be confused with a woman on her period.
So much for equality under the law.
Well, and if you're poor, you're going to have problems. But
it's still worth trying to achieve it.
I didn't say it wasn't. I'm just saying that that's the reality.
Yeah.
But, you know, sitting there thinking that there's a disconnect between ideals and reality as a reason for, you know, well, that's just wrong, then you're going to have to enact the 100% solution that I've talked about on other podcasts.
Did you just come up with that expression?
I did. To mean that, yes.
Wow. Gotta be happy for, I don't know.
What?
Nah.
Well, you want a 50% solution?
Yeah. I was like, I'd be happy for like a 30% solution, but then...
But that would only...
Given what you talked about, I'm like, no, I don't even want to like go there.
But, you know, if that were to happen, that would only make things better for 2 generations.
What? And then what would happen?
Then there'd be too many people and you'd have to do that again.
Oh.
And again. And again. And again. That's kind of what wars were, right? We haven't had a land clearing war in a long time.
There could be a war.
There could be, and people that want it are idiots. War just means one thing: dead people.
Yeah.
And
why would you want war?
Because you watch too much TV, because you've never smelled it, because you've never seen it.
Yeah.
Well, no, you've probably seen it. You've never smelled it. When you smell it, that's when things get real. Because we're too used to watching stuff on TV.
People who talk about we need to, like, the coming revolution. I'm like, do you really want a revolution, buddy?
They probably think they do. It's like all of us who think that we can handle what's to come, and then something comes and we're like, shit, I don't think I can handle this. I've had way too many of those moments in my life to ever think that again.
For me, it's just like little things, so I don't know what a big thing would be like.
It doesn't matter. Little things, big things, same deal. It's just degree.
I got a hangnail. Ugh.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying. I got my arm chopped off. That hurts a hell of a lot more. But remember this.
What?
There's always a point where you cannot feel any more pain.
Is there really, though?
Yes, because our nerves are as efficient as they are. There's a point where they get overloaded and you just can't feel any more pain than you felt before.
Yeah, but that's got to be a lot of pain.
It's pretty excruciating.
See, I don't know. I've never been in that much pain, and I don't really want to be.
Oh, you don't know.
What do you mean? I don't know that I've never been in that much pain, or I don't know if I can handle.
You've just never been in a situation where it didn't hurt anymore.
No, I haven't.
Where you just had a level of pain and it just stayed there. It didn't get any worse.
Maybe one time when I was on scout camp. No.
If you have to search your memory banks, then no, you have not.
No. Yes, I'm trying to think of a situation when I was a kid. No.
So I forgot what we were talking about. Yes, prosperity.
Prosperity.
Prosperity for all. Yes, I believe it can happen, but no, I don't think it will because it's just not the way we're hardwired.
It's a utopian ideal.
It's a pipe dream of an ideal. It's an ideal. And ideals just don't happen.
Well, ideals often lead to, like, horrific things.
No, ideals just don't happen. Now you can say what you were going to say.
They always go off the rails. I mean, you start with some great ideas about things, and then it ends up being horrific.
So, to kind of be a little bit of a jerk here, you really have nothing different to add to what I was just saying.
I don't know.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Not that you don't have anything to add, the fact that you needed to voice.
Oh.
You felt the need to voice the exact same thing.
No, I don't want you to be the one doing all the talking, Dave.
Because
that's not my nature.
Fine, I'm more than happy to let you talk the whole time.
I don't have anything to say, though.
Isn't this a conversation you should be having with your own shrink or something?
I don't have a shrink anymore. So it's you, bro. It's gotta be you.
You need to start paying me the money you were paying them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't work on me. You're not attractive enough or female enough to be able to get away with that.
So what got you?
And here's a little truth bomb for you. There's nobody that's cute or female enough to do that for me.
Why are you really trying to not get a woman, huh?
If she wants to show up, then fine, but I just don't think she's shown up in my life.
I wonder if there's women that listen.
On the life on another planet theory that you have, then there's got to be, right?
What?
The whole idea that, with all the planets that are around, there's got to be life on those other planets somewhere. We can't be the only one. So on that theory, I'm sure of all the potential listeners of podcasts out there, I'm sure a woman has at least heard us for a second.
Yes. And there's definitely life on other planets because they've been here.
What now?
There's definitely life on other planets because they visited us here.
Oh, it's your History Channel thing. Okay.
Yeah. And what is that doing on History Channel, by the way?
Well, because it's no longer about history. But the whole prosperity thing. We as people are too
greedy,
too whatever it is to let us all be prosperous.
What about certain communities though?
What do you mean?
Like, what if you have like a really small community of people, and the survival of the community depends on everybody sharing? Do you think there would still be?
What does that have to do with being prosperous?
Well, everybody in that kind of scenario, maybe everybody shares the wealth.
Sure, if they're all related.
Yeah. Or you think they would have to be related?
Related or grew up together.
Yeah. So would in that scenario, then wouldn't you have a bunch of prosperous people?
I'm talking about everybody. I'm not talking about a bunch of prosperous people.
Oh. You're talking about the whole of society?
I'm talking about the whole world.
Oh. Well, there goes my idea. This
whole thing that everybody's that so many people, so many young people these days are shooting towards. I'm a socialist, or I'm a Marxist.
They never call themselves a Marxist.
Black Lives Matter calls themselves Marxists.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. The leaders of it say they're trained Marxists.
Really?
Yeah. They don't lie. I mean, they tell you what they're all about, and everybody's like, no, you're not. Which is another thing that I think is kind of weird. When someone tells you what they're about, why don't you believe them? Like, if you have a friend that's sitting there going, I want to kill everybody, why are you sitting there going, no, you don't?
He seemed like such a nice person.
That doesn't preclude that. The desire to want to, like, end all life does not mean you're not a nice person.
That's still blowing my mind though. Because I know that the traditional Marxists, they were always upfront about being Marxists or communists. Or
The untraditional Marxists are too.
But I didn't know that was the case, that the leaders of the movement had openly declared that that's what they were. I thought that was just a right-wing talking point.
It might be. Maybe they're not.
Because that would be something that one wouldn't say.
Well, if it's such a great thing, I don't know why people aren't sitting there saying this is why I'm it. Anytime someone says I'm a socialist and you say you're a socialist, they're like, or you're a communist, like, no, it's different. I mean, that type of thing is just someone who doesn't know. That's someone who would wear Gucci or Jordache, depending on what's what's popular. I guess.
What's Jordache?
Oh, it was jeans in the 80s, man. It was some good stuff. I used to love the girls that wore the Jordache jeans because it was like a little bougie.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it still exist?
I doubt it.
Is it like a mother-looking jean?
No, it was a hip jean. It had like a horse's head on it.
Really?
That was part of their logo.
I'm going to have to Google Jordache after this.
Oh.
Hot woman wearing Jordache.
Well, at the time, everybody was hot because everybody was young that was wearing them, so,
Why are young people so much more attractive?
Because they need to mate.
Oh. Well, that's really... I'm like...
Because they need to pop out kids and get ugly real fast.
That's terrible.
It's true.
It's terrible, though.
Once you've had your kids, there's no real need for you to look pretty.
Oh.
Healthy.
No. It's not true either.
You just get fat and haggard.
No, there's plenty of hot moms coming to...
I'm not talking about women. You really assume... You don't listen to the conversation. You just fill in shit on your own, and then, that's the conversation you have.
I guess it's always been like that.
It's kind of funny.
I just assumed you were talking about women.
No.
Well, so I'm the one that's a pig in this scenario.
Dude, how many dudes have you known that had families that stayed fit and thin? I don't know any. All of my thin fit.
I can only think of one friend that's like in really good shape.
Is that friend divorced?
No. Him and his wife are like still attractive and still in really good shape, and they have 2 boys.
Okay, whatever, dude.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you tend to go with the other 100% solution, which is if I can find one example of what you're saying is untrue, then that makes your entire argument untrue.
No, I'm not using it to defeat your entire argument. I'm just saying there's exceptions.
No, that's just the way you are. Okay, so there are exceptions. Yeah, I'm aware. Do I really care?
I hate the way you say, yeah, whatever, dude.
Well, no, I'm aware there are exceptions. I just don't care.
Yeah, and
because they're exceptions. They're not very many of them. This whole idea that you need to
that offends my sensibilities when you say that.
Okay, you can sue me for intentional infliction of emotional distress.
I am going to.
And your claim is denied.
I'm applying my lip gloss.
I've asked for a summary judgment and received it.
Whatever, dude. See what I have to put up with week in and week out?
It's more like what I have to put up with.
Yeah.
What was I talking about?
I don't care.
Me neither. Oh yeah. So this whole idea that exceptions have to be the rule. I mean that's BS too. This whole idea that everybody needs to legislate towards the exception or to the first-hand account of stuff is really just kind of crazy.
You really are hitting all the points of everything we've ever talked about.
Well, it's just not that many things.
In 6-8 episodes.
It's just not that many things.
Are you just trying to, like you were saying before, just trying to get people caught up that weren't listening before?
Sure, that's what we'll say that it's my grand strategy to, there's been a plan to this all along. for the last 2 weeks.
And if they really want to, they can go back and listen to the archives.
Don't they already know that?
No, like, I don't know that if they're a new listener, they wouldn't know that.
Anyway,
I'm going to tell them at the end.
you tell them what the hell you want.
Okay. Are we done now? So, thanks for listening. If you're listening to us on Stitcher, iTunes, and SoundCloud, we just only have the last couple of weeks up. If you want to go back and listen to us on the archives and go all the way back, you can find us on YouTube. Just search Low Fact Podcast, and you can find everything that's ever been recorded by us. Dave?
What?
Do you have anything to add?
Nope. Good night. Morning or evening. Whatever it is when you're listening.